Rick, how's it going, sir?
It's going very well. How are you?
Great.
I just sent you a property. I got the P&L like 20 minutes ago. I don't know if you have time for it today or if you wish to discuss it today.
Of course. Of course we have time.
All right.
And we will check it out today.
There you are.
There I am. Where are we at on New Jersey?
The there on the one on 1505 Parkway, the 8 unit retail. The two of the three owners were on vacation. They'll be back Wednesday night or Thursday, and the agent is going to present the offer to them on Thursday.
All right.
I also reached out to, remember the one in Florida? Was it Tahitian Gardens or Hut, whatever it was?
Yeah,
He's
mobile home park.
for the financials from his accountant. But I spoke to him yesterday.
He's been waiting 3 months for those financials.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the most organized guy in the world.
Or motivated.
Could be.
All right, well, good. Yeah, let's I mean, while we're nothing going on right now, let's check out the P&L. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
All right, so talk to me.
Okay. It is a, this is in
Oop,
Gloucester City, which is South Jersey. Adam and I own a property in a single family home in Gloucester City. It's a rental.
huh?
It's actually three buildings. It's two duplexes, 4 units, and a townhome. And it's right across the river from Philadelphia.
Okay,
Okay. If you look up that's the building.
that's it.
Hold on. I'm just sending him a message. Sorry, I can't talk now. And put this on vibrate. Okay. Here it is. So yeah, as you can see, there's the profit and loss statement. So there's the incomes. Notice unit D is vacant. It's in the process of being rehabbed. That is the expected market rent, not what they have right now. But see the annual income, which would be based on a 12-month no vacancy rate, but if you use it, 67,620. The annual expenses, and it says they do their own management, is
Right.
16,000. Means an NOI of 51,404. Divide that by their asking price. It's a 6.8% cap.
Right. So underwrite this with vacancy and with management and with repairs. And tell me,
Okay. So if
because
we
you
take,
are right, because I mean you are gonna have management fee, you are gonna have some vacancy, you are going to have repairs for sure. So let's
okay,
underwrite it based on
okay. If you
what it'll
take
actually
out the vacant property, the monthly rent is 4560. That's times 11 months, 1 month vacancy.
do go ahead and keep the rent in there for what it will rent for, but just account for I don't know, just account for 90% vacancy occupancy.
Okay. Then let's take the 67,620 times 0.9
Yep.
is 60,858.
Yep.
Okay. Now, so on the 16,216, you want to add what, 8% management fee?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So if I
So,
take the 60,858 times 0.08, that's 4868. What? Okay. So now plus 16,216 is 21,084.
yep, and then also add in some repairs that you're gonna have.
Do I add that into the 21,000?
Yep, because that'll be your expenses.
Okay. How much were they on?
You tell me, what do you think we should estimate? $100 per unit per month?
Okay. Well, it's 5 units. Is six is $500 is $6,000.
Yep, per year.
Yep. So let's just call it $27,000 even. Okay.
And that's probably low, right? Like, I mean, a make ready, if a tenant moves out, make ready may
Okay,
cost the,
you're right. Okay. So if I take the 60,000, let's just use round numbers, okay? Save of expediency. 61,000 minus 27,000 is what? 34,000?
uh,
61,000
yep,
minus 27,000 equals 34,000. And if
yep,
I divide that by the 750, that's a cap rate of 4.5%.
yep.
But if we would want to buy it, you, me, whatever, want to buy it at what, a 7% cap?
Well, I mean, it just depends. We're not necessarily looking for a cap number, but if you were to buy this with a loan, you'd never be able to buy it
Right.
based on their asking price. So, I mean, the question is based on what it's doing, what price do we want to offer that'll make sense? You could maybe pay the 735 if they sell or finance it to you with $24,000 annual payments for everything, which would be 2,000 a month, and you'd cash flow like 1,000 a month, give or take. Or if they say no, nope, we absolutely won't do seller financing. Okay, well, maybe your offer price needs to be about 400. I don't know. You'd want to calculate it to see what you could do to get a loan that would work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Done.
Easy enough. It's
Well, when you speak to a mathematical genius such as yourself,
you're
it's
you're the genius.
not, Matt's mother, Kim, calls me Moses.
There you go. You didn't know Moses was a
I
an
didn't know
Albert
he was a
Einstein?
real estate guy. I thought he just dealt with the desert. But she said to me one day, "You have so much wisdom. Say something wise." I said, "What do I look like? Moses coming down from Mount Sinai with the Ten Commandments?" So from that
Yeah.
point on, she started calling me Moses.
Well, does that answer your question though? Is that what you wanted to
No, it
look?
is. It does answer the question.
Good. Hello,
Thank you.
everybody. You're welcome. Welcome, everybody. What do we got today? Timberly, you want to look at that deal that you just were texting me about?
Yeah, we can. I'm kind of lost. You said you're lost, and now I'm like, oh God, now I'm lost.
Well,
Anyway,
it just didn't quite make sense on what you're texting me, what you're asking.
okay. So this lady, I talked to, so it's essentially her husband's parents' land, and both the parents have passed away. So now they're left with all these land and rental properties that they want to get sold. But there's quite a few brothers and sisters that have been given certain properties. And the ones that they have access to that they want to get sold, there is a little lot in Leander. And then there is 5 acres in Somerville that they would like to sell. And the one in Somerville looked like there was 100 acres total, she told me, and 61 of it is listed already. But the acreage that they own, the 5 acres, is what they would potentially like to sell. they want to get rid of these and not hold on to them because they're tired of paying the property taxes. The husband and wife currently own their own home and an investment property that they have rented out. And so they already pay property taxes on those and now paying property taxes on these the last few years since they've passed away, and they're just ready to get rid of them. So she gave me the addresses so I can try to do some homework and come up with some exit strategies for her. So it could be a wholesale. I don't know. We'll see. She has to get some documents for me, like the surveys and stuff, so I can look at it. And she sent me something else that I cannot read at all. Let's see. Do you want me to put?
Well, but they called in about listing the property for them.
Not necessarily listing it, they just want to get it sold. They didn't say we want to list it with a realtor. They had just said they spoke to a realtor and that realtor wouldn't touch it because one of the properties, the 5 acres in Somerville, I believe had to be signed off by the brother and sister. And so they were trying to understand that with the lawyer. So I don't really know how that works either. So I wasn't able to touch on that.
His
But then
brother and sister are on title or part of the estate.
that's what I am trying to get documentation of so I can see it. Um, I don't know if I sent you
Do
the,
you know what price they want to sell these for?
they didn't say, they don't even know how much.
Okay. Well, what do you think?
She doesn't think that the one in Leander, the Leander lot is very, very small and has trees. She's like, I don't even think we're gonna make anything off of it. She's like, but I'm tired of paying the property taxes and I want to get rid of it. When I looked it up on Zillow, it said 33,000 was the assessment. Um,
Well, what do you think next step should be on this one?
maybe ask her how much she wants.
Yeah, right. Like we just need more information. We need to know what she wants, when does she want to sell. She doesn't think she's going to make anything. So what price did she pay for it? Does she want to list it? Does she want a cash offer from us? Like what, we just don't know what's going on really.
Right. Well, and I didn't know, I wanted to put like a halt to it because I didn't want it, since she said that there were like this weird stuff going on with it, with the names. I wanted to make sure it wasn't something like they're trying to, they don't even have possession of and they're trying to sell. So that's what I was worried
It
about.
could, has anybody run into these land scams? We've had them some like these people, I don't know if this is or not, but these people have they find these random lots. They say that they're the owner and they like list them on Zillow or wherever and they try and sell them and they're not the owners. Title companies should do a good job at finding this, but we had one uh where someone was representing the buyer from this scam seller and title didn't catch it and it went all the way through and closed and funded. They closed, they caught it right before part of the funds went through. But I don't know. I mean, that's what we need to figure out, Timberly. Is like, what's the story? What's going on? Is this real? What do they want to sell for? How much they have in it? Having a brother and a sister sign off on a sale isn't a big deal. I mean, that's really easy
Okay.
to do
Okay.
if they exist and if they're alive and can be found and agree to sign off on it.
She did say that they wanted to get the money back at least that they put into it as far as paying taxes. And she had just bluntly said 50K or 15K. But I don't know if that was both of them together or just one. So I'll need to ask that question. But again, I just didn't want to explore further at the point until I got the information that I needed, which I haven't ever done that before either, run into this situation. Like
Where
how to,
there multiple sellers.
yeah, with the acreage, like she was telling me like, oh yeah, like we have 5 acres of the 61. We wanted to see if, we could sell our 5 acres, but also like they should just go ahead and list theirs. And then I look at it and see that the 61 acres is already listed. And so I told her that, and then she was confused. So then I was confused and asked her for like the survey of the 5 acres that she owns so I can see within those 61 acres what she owned. And then I was looking it up. It said it's 100 acres total. So I was just all kind of confused after I got
What
off the phone with her.
what's the agent's number who has the 61 acres listed?
Let's see.
But you can look into in CAD and see the type, and you could see how it's titled in the names that they're under, and if it's under a trust or if it's under if you have
The agent is Zach Mursky. It's ZACH.
The number,
Oh, you want their phone number or the truck ID?
phone number.
Phone number. 979 203 0343.
Okay, and what's the address? Can you put it in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome everybody to Finding Deals. Bring some other opportunities for after we call this one. Timberly, I'm just gonna call the agent and ask what's going on. Hey, the seller you got this listed for, we got a call about this one here. Is this part of it? Who is this person? You know, we're just gonna try and figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Just for clarification, the 5 acres they want to sell is part of this tract of land right here.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I don't believe so because what I sent you, it has a tax record of just the 5 acres. So I would assume that it wouldn't be with that, right? Because then that would be a whole nother thing. They would have had to have signed off to sell that land with them, correct?
Bucks Farm. Yeah, let's just getting a call. I'll call as soon as this goes through. And all right, just give me a sec. Where's Somerville?
It's like between, I don't know exactly, but I looked it up and it's like between Houston and Austin.
Got it. And what's the county? Somerville.
Was
It is out of Burnett or Bastrop.
Bastrop County,
um
or it's Somerville County? All right, just give me a sec.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
All right. Well, Timberly, yeah, I would just try and figure out the other information and figure out what the, what's really going on here so that we can dive in further.
yeah.
But we just need to know the story, the motivation, what's really going on, what they want, what the opportunity is. Maybe the best opportunity is to list it for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so hard to say without knowing any of that stuff.
Right. And again, I was just worried like how to take the conversation further because I wanted to make sure that I had the legal information correct, like and that the property was in fact theirs and they've gone through that process because she was kind of giving me like, oh yeah, like the realtor said that we needed to go through a lawyer to get this done, but I was trying to see if, the brother and sister could just sign off on it. And I was like, and they never explored that with the other realtor. So they just want to get rid of it. But
Yeah.
I'll have to ask her for how much for each and, if it's cash or how fast.
Just learn what they want to do and what the story is.
Okay.
We just don't know. But it's very possible to sell a property with multiple sellers, and if brother and sister are on the deed, then you can get them to sign off on it if they agree to.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Any updates from the other stuff?
Well, the one with Dallas, no, because they don't want to do the seller financing and they're not going to come down on price. So that one's just at a halt for now. The other one, Ernesto sent us some land, me and Matt yesterday. So that might be one that we could call today and see, because he had said that the seller for that one is very motivated out of all of his listings. So we could call that one if we wanted.
Yep. And then what about the other land?
Other land. Oh, she hasn't gotten back with me yet. She said that she was going to talk to the seller. Like I said, I don't think it was like a yes or a no. She was just kind of like, again, she didn't seem surprised that, with our offer and what I had said to her. But every time I would say like, it doesn't work because this reason, it doesn't work because of this reason, and we can't pay that much for this reason, she would come back and be like, well, it has this, and oh, well, you can do this, and blah, blah, blah. And they have potential buyers or prospective people who want to come out this week and look at it. But I'll follow up with her and see what we can do there.
Cool. And for what Ernesto sent, I mean, what I would recommend is try and establish a value before that call to really, figure
I
out
did, kind of.
what do you
For
think.
let me see. I sent it to Matt. Let me see. So this one so the things that I was looking at, or the comps that I was looking at, were 170 to 200K an acre. I think they were asking 395K an acre. So, but I don't have like MLS access to the area, or am I able to run comps to really figure out the value of it? I just looked on LoopNet to see what similar properties were listed for with the same layout and the trees that were on it. And it's not immediately off the highway. So I kind of just saw what everybody else was listing it for. And it's not a true comp because it hasn't been sold, right? But that's just kind of what I came up with, was 170 to 200K an acre.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna depend on all those things. 'Cause this has very slight frontage road on Rankin Road, which looks like a busier road. Uh, and then also the zoning. I guess Houston doesn't have zoning, right? Houston has zero zoning.
I don't know. All this land stuff is like, it's all really new to me, and it's hard to
Yeah. Well,
use stuff.
it's slightly more complicated in establishing, an instant value, right? Due to a lot of it is based on the potential of what you can do with it, and also, just because two pieces of land are in the same neighborhood, it doesn't mean they're worth the same amount, right? Just like the one you're
Right.
looking at, if
Mhm.
75% of it's in the floodplain, and if it only has one small little access point, and one has utilities, one doesn't have utilities, there's just a lot of other factors that play into it. But what I would recommend is reaching out. My recommendation would be to reach out to Dharma on this one as well. Dharma has been looking for land in Houston, and he might be able to help establish kind of what he'd be willing to pay for it, and or might know some other people in Houston. I think Dharma lives in Houston, who might be interested in it.
Okay. Should I put him in a three-way text with you and I?
Yeah, you can just text in that same text chain.
Okay, and just ask him, we're looking at this, what would you pay for it?
Yeah. Just you have any buyers for anything like this, Dharma?
Okay,
Just send him the address.
okay,
Address is.
okay. Sounds good.
All right. Christina, Mybrit, Robert, Raquel, Michael, Emmanuel. We got William. We got any deals we can call?
I have something.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so first things first, Timberly, what we do with title with land deals only, is we like our underwriters, which are FNTI, they FedEx to the actual owners of the house, to make sure that that's them, and they get the the letter and all that good stuff from the company. If they have a forwarding address on file, that's where it goes. And that's something that we don't even tell the agent when it's happening, just so kind of like let you know. That way, if it's fraudulent, we figure it out really fast and you're not involved, that sort of thing. So just that. Okay. And then, all right, I've been looking at this deal for a while, and I'm going to go ahead. It's 4505 South 3rd Street.
Okay.
It's been on the market. I've I think I called a while back about it too. They're willing to lower the price. Okay, so here's the story. An old dude lives there and his family lives with them. They caregive him. He probably is on his deathbed, according to the junk removal guy that went out there. And this area is hot.
This junk removal guy's a keeper for you.
Oh yes, I love him and he loves me, which is awesome. So we're going to synergize and we're going to get better at this. And I want him to join the community too. So yay. But anyway, okay. So this house next to it are, $800 to $1 million houses. These guys, okay, a month ago they said they weren't really motivated. Now I can hear it in the agent's voice. He's like, they won't go right now, don't make an offer at 3, but anything right there is probably your answer. And he's like, 4 and below isn't going to work, but 4, I could see someone offering that and them taking it. And so like I could sense like an urgency. I'm thinking it's because in the way I see it and the way I hear it is the money from this sale is to help them move out into the country. They don't want to live in Austin anymore. It's too city folk. And so I'm like, oh my God, this is hot. Like this is hot land. And then I even thought like, okay, well, this family's a little bit older. What if they did like one of those weird, like, and I was like, well, what if we came up with something creative to the agent? Like even the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, if they did like some type of reverse mortgage where they moved into a new house and only paid half of it and never paid a mortgage payment again, they would still have extra money instead of spending all the money that they profit from this to that sale. Like there could be some creativity to help them switch over, but I don't even know where to start. But I was looking at the price and I could probably make an offer for 4 and see if it goes, but I don't know the numbers well enough to think that would be legit. Like I'm still real fuzzy. I'm still real fuzzy.
All right. Well, let's look at it. Any agents in here know this area very well? 78745.
I know that area pretty good.
All right. What do you think on a value for this property here? They're listed at 490. I think it's 3.1.
It's really going to
8,000
depend
square.
on what you end up doing with it, because like she said, a lot of the stuff, the comps are new builds, so it's new construction.
It's a tear down.
I mean, the value itself might be in the land. It's an 8,400 square foot lot. So, I mean, you could redo it and add an ADU and not do a complete tear down.
Oh,
Yep. Well, that's kind of my question. I think like what price would Christina want to get this thing at to try and wholesale it to someone who's going to take it to the next level there?
Sure. I mean, I think if she's, low 4s, the whole reason why is, I mean, like, there's not even lots that you're getting around 4, and the house doesn't look in terrible shape. So
right.
without someone like having to do a demo or just demolish the house and rebuild it, you could, spin the ADU route. You could just do, I mean, it's still a decent sized house, even though it doesn't look that large. It's 1,400 square foot. So, I mean, you can either expand onto the house instead of doing the ADU route. I mean, but like most of the stuff right there is like everything in that neighborhood or everything on that corner block is 750, $1 million, 850. So, I mean, there's nothing, and it's close enough to Stasny too. I mean, like it's a hot area.
Agreed.
I mean, again, if you have the motivation, and without blowing the deal up, you can get something maybe 4, 4 even. Let me see. There's actually one around the corner. I just want to see what this other one is. The one that's listed at 44444. Yeah, this one's not bad too. How big's this lot though? These are good sized lot too.
Yeah. This one over here sold for 365. I mean, Christina, worst case scenario, try it out. I mean, I would say don't start at 4. I would say try and come in and get it at 375 or lower if you can. This one sold for 365, 0.24 acre lot, but the lot's kind of weird. I can't tell if this dip is part of the lot or not. But anyways, I would try and go below 4 if you can, then come up to 4 if you need to. You
Yeah.
could lock it up. We could start shopping it out to builders or developers
Okay.
at 415, 410, 425, whatever you want. We think someone will buy it for. And then, if there's no interest, we try and negotiate down further to what they are wanting to buy it at. Or worst case scenario, it's not worth even 4 and you have to drop the contract and you learned a lot.
Right. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And at least I got one step further than I did last time. Okay.
All right. So what do you want to do? You want to call him? You want me to call him? You've already called him. You want to send him an offer? What do you want to do?
Can you call him and I'm gonna listen to you?
Oh yeah, I actually know the agent. It's Carson.
Oh, well, this isn't that one.
Oh, sorry, different one.
No worries. The agent is Andrew Vallejo.
Yeah, I'll call Andrew.
Yeah, so just so you know, going in, Alex, there's 2 on market within like a half mile. The one's the 44444, and then the other one's 450. Both of the other 2 that are on market look like a little bit nicer house and are larger lots. So leveraging that, their price is lower, larger lots.
Cool. See what he says. Seven, 6, 4, 5. The listen brokerage is Redfin.
Mhm.
Hi, thanks for calling Andrew with Redfin. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Leave me a message or send me a text and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Andrew, this is Alex with TRE. I'm calling about 4505 South 3rd Street. Really like this property. Me and my partner want to submit an offer on it. Wanted to get a couple questions answered though. If you don't mind, call me back 512-517-1360. Thanks. All right. We'll see if Andrew calls back.
Woohoo! Thanks, guys.
Christina, I would encourage you to just send an offer though.
Okay, I'll do that.
Do you know how
Alex,
to do that?
she's sending me the deed. She's sending me the deed. She tried to send it to me, but it's super blurry. And then
One sec, real quick. Christina,
Okay.
do you feel comfortable sending an offer on that one?
I'm gonna work on it with my junk hole guy. We're gonna do it together.
Good. Submit an offer,
Okay.
get it in there, see what they say,
Okay.
and we'll take next steps after that one.
Any recommendations on Ernest or like I don't know. How should I start the option money? Like just leave it
Low.
super
He's
low. Okay.
he's
Yeah,
gonna
100 or less.
want your earnest to likely be 4,000. Make your offer whatever you want though. Put
Okay.
2,000 for earnest if you want to. Put your option period to like
45 days.
if you can get it, get it. Get it as long as you can. I was gonna say 21, but get 45 if you can.
Okay.
And if he asks why, just state that, you and your partner are gonna look at partnering with some developer partners of yours, and there's a lot that goes into it. You need to make sure that y'all can do what you want. You're gonna be able to accomplish your goals, but you really like it, and just start there and see what he says.
Awesome. Okay, I will do that.
All
Thank
right,
you.
good job. All right, Timberly, you're saying they sent you a deed?
She's gonna send it to me. She sent it in text and I can't read it, so I told her to email it to me, but it looks like a deed with the properties. And then I had asked her ideally what they're looking like, what they're looking for. She hasn't given me a number yet, but she said a fast close and cash offer, dependent on both parties agreeing.
Good. All right. What else we got? Robert, did we send off offers on the San Antonio portfolio? Yeah. Oh, Robert's on the phone. And Mybert's on the phone. What other deals we got? Raquel, you got any deals we can look at together?
I've got one that we can talk about.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it, Michael.
All right, so it's 702 White Street in Burnett. I might be listing this property, and I don't think we don't need to call to talk to the sellers because I
Yeah,
talked to them today. But I'm trying to see if this would be a good see if this would be a good rental property out in Burnett. Um,
well, let's look at it.
so are you pulling it up on the MLS?
Yeah.
It's got an old sales record from back in 2007, sold for 68.5.
This one right here.
Yes, that's it.
All right. Do you know much about Burnett?
I don't know much about Burnett. Like the stuff that I've been out there working on was always land. So that's where I'm kind of curious about this. So it's they've updated a little bit from when the guy purchased it. The owner passed away and the two sons are the ones are the heirs on it. So if it was fully done, fully remodeled, I think it could comp out around 210. 2 to 215 probably. And then probably rent around $1,000 a month. Um so
It's 864 square feet. It's one, two bed, one bath. Okay. You there, Michael?
yeah.
All right. So do you know what he wants to sell for?
So the guy who sent it to me, who got me in touch with the sellers, he just showed him a Zillow valuation, and that said like 175 or 170 or something like that. Yeah, there it is, 183. I think it said 170 before. So that's what they're hoping to get. I sent them over a net sheet today on 130. Just kind of being, you know, not trying to inflate it too much, but I haven't seen the property yet. They're supposed to be coming into town either next week or the week after from Oklahoma, and we're gonna go check out the property and go from there. So I told them this would be probably a good little investor flip. Let's see if we can get it in front of an investor. And then I've talked to one person. They said they were kind of interested, but I don't have a contract yet. I don't have a listing agreement, so I'm just kind of seeing where if this would be a better rental, probably better flip, maybe.
Who lives there now?
Nobody. It's empty. The owner passed away. So Jerry McDonald passed away, and I'm dealing with his sons.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, could be. If you get it for 130 or less and don't have to put a whole lot into it, uh, maybe selling it 210, depending on what you have to do to it, what it looks like on the inside. I would feel it maybe it's higher. Like a lot of these, this one sold for, well, yeah, this one sold for 234,000 square feet. They updated it.
Yeah, it's pretty significant update. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
and
they
the
got
flow on that's pretty good. They sent me a couple photos. I don't know if I can. I probably can't pop them in here. Um, and it needs some work. It's not super bad. It's not as bad as like some of the stuff that you'd typically see out there. But yeah,
I'd say explore it though. I mean, maybe they agree to, maybe your cash offers like 80, maybe they'll sell or finance it to you at 130 or something, and that might make it a better rental.
yeah,
This one's much nicer out of the listed properties for
yeah.
sale.
That's beautiful.
Shady Oak, but they might be priced way too high. I don't know.
How long has it been on the market?
Since November 17th.
Yeah, it's just a bad time to list a house.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I'd say explore it. Go, you're gonna meet them out there?
Yeah, so they're supposed whenever they get back in town because they're dealing with their this is their it went through probate and all that stuff, so they're dealing with all that. They just got to get back into town. So
Cool. Well, keep us updated, but uh if they're wanting to sell it for like 50% of what it might be worth, it could be for sure worth looking into.
okay, yeah,
I'd look more into the rental market too. I don't know the rental market very well in Burnett. I think we own a mobile home in Burnett with a partner, but we don't get great updates on it, but we never hear about it and we never have to put money into it. So that's a good thing.
yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I'll circle back on it, but that's what I got right now.
Cool. Good
Nobody's
work.
looking. Okay, there we go.
Uh, anything else? Anybody has? Matt, you want to try calling Ben back and see if he has an update for us?
I already talked to him. They're under contract.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says.
He wouldn't give any info?
I tried. I told him if we can invest in it or we can manage it, let me know. I'm working on it.
Interesting. Okay. Anybody have anything else want to call? I have a deal that we're working that I can call if y'all don't have anything right now.
I have something that I've been kind of watching.
Let's hear it.
It is the house is burnt down. Well, not down, it's still standing, but it's so you're basically buying the lot, which is way too expensive. But the address is, I literally just had it. It's 8012 Galt Street, Gault.
Yep.
I would say I'm pretty familiar with this area because this is my zip code.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so I have never done any kind of new build or anything like that. So the lot is way, 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 way too expensive, obviously, to do anything with, but the location kind of screams for a AB unit kind of thing. But I have a hard time. I don't know how to, since I've never done it, it's hard for me to know I mean, I have kind of an idea what it costs to do a new build. Kind of not sure about the ARV. Anyways, so these are all things that are hard, which is partly why I want to get my license, because I feel like I'll be better at running comps and things like that when I actually have a real estate license and can go look at a lot of properties. But I've just been drove by it. It's I mean, it's a decent sized lot. The lot is 9666. So it's a good sized lot, easy to fit AB unit on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't called them because nobody wants to talk to it. I'm not having a lot of luck calling, not being an agent. I don't know if that's just me, but I have no idea how low they would go or how low it would have to go to make any sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's look at it. And to answer your question on the development costs, I mean, a lot of I think the answer to that question is dependent upon what you put into it and how you do it. And my advice to that would be is if you have a goal of doing something like this and developing and AB units in Austin, or building brand new, my advice would be to speak to somebody who does this, who would build it
Yeah.
for you and interview them, go through the process with them, and learn all this stuff, so that you can kind of calculate your costs as you go into it.
Mhm.
But that would be my advice there. But we can call this person if you want to. Next host. Oh, let's see. Oh, this is different. We can call this lot if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in kind of getting a feel for how if there's any flexibility at all.
Okay. Well, let's see.
I mean, I'm terrified of new build in Austin just because of the permit process. We've added on to our house and it was a freaking nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have experience with new build permits, but in Austin, but the permitting process is pretty difficult. Smile wrinkles. You see that?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's
And
call
I
'em.
bet on the front door it says something like fuck off or something. I don't know. We drove by it and
That's it.
there's lots of sweet little messages.
They didn't include that in the listing photos.
I know.
All right. Well, let's call the agent. Let's just see what we can find out.
Okay. Will you call them for me?
Yeah, I will. I'll do it right now.
Thank you.
Randy, 512-940-7240.
This is Randy.
Hey, Randy, this is Alex with TRE. I'm calling about 8012 Galt Street. You have a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Calling just to get a little info from you. I might be looking at buying this with a developer partner of mine. We come in, buy this thing, tear it down, and build new on it. I just wanted to get a little information from you, if you don't mind.
I'll give you any information. We just received a contract,
Okay.
but I haven't. I mean, they're actually placing earnest money, but I haven't got a receipt yet. So I'll give you what I need or what you need.
Are they past the deadline?
Oh no, it just happened like yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
So I just haven't heard today that it's been delivered. So
Got it. Well, I mean, to be honest, a lot of my questions are going to have to do with that. I need to know kind of where the sellers need to be at in order to get this sold, or with this contract that you have, where we need to be at to beat it, and in case it actually doesn't go through, or say it drops.
Well, yeah, with this one, I mean, we he kind of got beat up a little bit, but I so the point is we were trying to hold out for 425, and I told him, I said, look, I mean, he's had ridiculous, like 200, 244, 335, and then but this one is right at 400.
Okay.
So, we counted on one, at 390, and this one came in higher. So,
Okay.
so that's where he's happy with that is all I'm saying.
I got you. That's good, because we were running our numbers and we were wanting to come in around 360, but in the event that this one doesn't go through, really kind of 390, 400 is where we need to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have a survey. We do have a 10-day option period. In this one for him to do some, and I'm making sure, because I will say, I had my a builder look at it, and he said by the time if you tried to save any of this property, he said you'd just be better off tearing it down if you were trying to rebuild a 1,200-foot house for the owner. And I said, well, yeah, we need to scrape it, but I've got a $14,000 demolition estimate from Southwest Destructors,
Okay.
Rathgabers. Another $1,200 to remove the shed back there, so 15,200 total. So, and let's see. Oh, and the other thing is, I'm making sure that this, I don't know the procedure on this, but the city supposedly, condemned the property. The fire happened a good while back,
Mhm.
and they condemned the property, but they haven't, gone through the procedure of doing demolition. But I think I just have to notify anybody, that buys it.
That is condemned.
Yeah, I think that's, what they would say,
What
because I think you can't even transfer a property when they give you a citation for grass or trash. So
yeah. Well, tell me, I mean, do you know any information on kind of what that looks like with City of Austin on the fact that it is condemned?
no, I don't. That's what I'm was distracted. I've got a closing tomorrow or through Friday, something like that, and I'm focused on that. But I'm trying to make sure that all we need to do is notify, the buyer, that, because obviously it's gonna. Spoke with one person. I said, if anybody buys this, they're gonna go straight through the process of demolition.
Mm-hmm.
So and they said, well, we understand. So it's no need to go. I mean, of course, you got to get a permit for demolition.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be any issue.
Right? No, it's
Okay.
not historic or anything like that.
All right. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't you? This is my cell phone. Just shoot me a text. Either if you get the earnest or you don't get it, and then I'll follow up after y'all's option period and see if it's still available.
Sounds great.
All right, sir. Anything else you have coming up? Any deals like this or any multifamily or anything we can take a look at?
Not that's coming to my head, honestly. It's just been, I tell you, this year started and it's like I go, 6 different directions and I feel like I'm not even organized, so.
That's okay. It's only the 9th. You got like 357 days left to figure it out.
It's been an unusual one. Your name came up on my screen, but tell me your name again.
Alex Kaufman.
Okay, Coffman.
Yes, sir.
All right, Alex. Okay, I'll get it. Get you notified.
All right. Thanks, Randy. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, bye. All right. Well.
Wow, 400? That's insane.
Yeah. And for
because I was like, well, maybe 200.
for anybody who like Christina or Mybrid or anybody here who is maybe nervous about these calls or not sure what to ask, does anybody I didn't even ask him anything. I just said, hey, where do we need to be? And then he just started talking. And that's kind of how most of this goes is they do 95% of the talking. Our goal is just to try and get as much info out of it as we can, I don't even have a lot of development questions on this property. I just want to know I'm curious to know how low we can get it. And he, came out right off the bat telling us, he's got a contract. It came in at this. Here's where his other offers were at. They countered at this. Here's where he'd like to be. Here's where this offer's at. Here's their option period. They haven't turned in their earnest money. He told us everything we wanted to know in terms of price, pretty fast.
So do you always leave it the way you did? Here's my number, I'll follow up, or please let me know. Do you always do that? Even when there's no way in heck that we would ever buy this land for 300 and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good just to make an offer.
Yeah.
I was telling our team that today, with one of the guys, their position is they receive emails and stuff from agents and wholesalers and things like that. And I was like, man, don't spend every day analyzing, 30 wholesale emails that come into your inbox. The likelihood of, you know, one of those being a good deal is very slim. Like, just make an offer on all of them. Don't put a whole bunch of attention and effort and time into it. Just look at it briefly. If you know the area, you know the market, you feel like it's a really great price and a great deal, then pursue it further. But otherwise, just make a low offer on it. If they sent it to you at 150, offer them, say, hey, we'd be buyers here at 80. Do you think we can get that done? And keep on moving to, the next opportunity, in order to just kind of fish for, some motivation and opportunity. If they come back and say, yeah, we might be able to consider 80, then look into it further there. Or like this guy in this example, I have no idea if 365 is a good offer or not. But I was just throwing that out there to hear his response to it. I wanted to hear, if it was, well, if this drops through, maybe that'll work, or no, there's absolutely no way he'd take anything under 390. I was just throwing that out there so that I could hear his emotional response to that number, is the reason I did that.
That was actually helpful, just hearing the quote for demoing the whole property as well, that him just offering that up. I thought that was great. So that's good to know going forward.
Yeah.
The price range.
What are some of the questions to ask if it's a for sale by owner?
Many, like hundreds of them. But what you're trying to figure out is the story and the motivation. So you're trying to figure out, like, what's going on, Raquel. You've got this property listed at 200. You're not using an agent. I'm an investor. In our case, we are agents. But what's going on? I'd love to buy this property from you. We're just trying to figure out, we don't really know other than they have a property for sale at 200, but why do they want to sell? What's important to them in a sale? Is price the most important thing? At 200, are they doing it for sale by owner because they're trying to avoid closing costs and commissions because they can't afford to pay it because they owe 200? We're just trying to figure out what is the full story, what's all the information regarding this. That way we can present a solution after having all the information that hopefully gets us what we want and helps get them what they want as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. Mm-hmm.
And from learning the story and what's going on, another 100 questions are going to come up about, well, why, or what happened, or if this, then that, or, why this, why that, and so on.
And that's the same for commercial?
Yeah. Most important thing let me pull this up for you guys. Back to the basics here with these phone calls. I'm gonna share my screen. Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
All right. So we found an opportunity in all of these scenarios. In Rick's that he presented, or we were looking at that P&L, we found a deal that's for sale, or might be for sale. Same with Rick's, Timberlee's, Christina's, Michael's, Mybrit's. We found a deal. Next, what we need to do is we need to learn the story. What's going on here? Why is this person selling? Why do they have to sell this property? Why do they want to sell this property? Going into motivation and story are, same things in a sense, but what's going on? Why do they need to sell? What do they need the money for? How fast do they need it? Do they really need all of it? Is their son, going through some medical thing? Did their wife get a new job in Oregon? You never know. We're just trying to figure out what is going on here. Why do you want to sell a property? And what do you need from it and why? And do you really need that? And is that really the most important thing to you? If Michael's sellers, for example, just to shed some insight into what I'm talking about, like Michael's sellers, their father died, the son inherited this property, he wants to sell it. That's part of the story. Is price the most important thing to this guy? Probably not, because if it was, and he wanted to sell it for the highest price he possibly could, he would put the money into the property, fix it up, list it with a realtor, and get it sold, not try and sell it to an investor to get the highest price possible. But maybe his motivation, he's got to fly in. I forget what city or state Michael said he lives in, but he's got to fly in from a different state. This property is probably something he doesn't want to deal with. He's looking to just offload it, get rid of it. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with, the emotional stuff that's going to come with dealing with the property that his dad owned, and who knows, we have no idea, right? But we need to learn the story and identify the motivation so that we can propose multiple exits, right? Maybe it's a seller finance, maybe it's a cash offer, maybe it's listing it, maybe it is buying it subject to, maybe it is them owning 50% of the property with us, right? We're trying to propose a solution based on, or multiple solutions based on their motivation and their story that we've previously learned that will get them what they want and get us what we want. Then next thing we need to do is lock up the deal, right? Control it, get it under contract. As soon as we come to terms with one of the proposed solutions and exits, we want to lock it up, get the deal under contract so that we can proceed forward with, the rest of the deal flow. But most important is finding the deal is the easy part. There's a ton of properties listed for sale right now. Commercial, residential, a bunch of people want to sell. The part that I feel a lot of people get lost in and doesn't allow them to be extremely effective in actually getting a deal done is they don't really take the time to learn the story and identify the motivation, which is the most important part to presenting good solutions to get a deal done. Because otherwise, you can't solve a problem for someone if you don't know what the problem is, right? And them having their house listed for sale at 200,000 is not the problem. Their story and the motivation is the problem, and that's what we're looking to solve. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
And so that's why, like, with Timberlease, that she brought, or that's why with a lot of these, we say, well, let's just call them, because we cannot tell you if it's a deal without knowing these things. We can't tell you, if we just don't have enough information. We have to learn it if we want to effectively, try and get this deal done. Like Timberlease, for example, or any of these that we called today, we just don't know what's going on. And so we have to learn those things in order to see if we can present other opportunities that might solve their problem and end up being a good deal. Any questions on that, or thoughts on that, or anybody struggling with that, or?
She told me that they owe, I guess, they have some back taxes they need to pay on those properties. So they're going to find out how much that is. I looked at some comps of the Leander one, and taxes for that one yearly is from between $500 and $700. But she's going to get me a number of how much they really owe.
There's some motivation. At first, she told Timberlease she didn't want to pay the taxes going forward, but what she meant is I haven't been paying them, and now I owe back taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Timberly, did you find the property with that link I sent you? I sent you the one that was listed and it's like a family. Did you find the 5 acre?
No, I just saw the one page and it said like 57 acres. I saw another one for 70 and then another one. Was there another page?
No, there was just those three that had the Cheney Family Trust. That's why I was wondering if you had any details that might the different name, I could try to find it, but I just found the one that was listed and the two others they own.
Okay, I'll have to ask her because that's why I was confused too, because I did look that up and I found the Cheney Trust and I was confused, how to try to legally find, not legally find, but like how I could see that they do legally own those 5 acres. Like, do I need to go and pull up each one and try to find it in there? Because I don't know how that works either.
Gotcha. Yeah, Alex, going back to your point, I think I would just echo your point about you don't I think one of the things one of my new agents was running into was trying to answer a bunch of questions before they picked up the phone. Like I'm gonna look at BCAT, I'm gonna look at history, I'm gonna look at CMA, and it's like just call. Like the less you know, the easier you can actually be inquisitive and trying to learn. And he found that, as long as he had a phone number and an address and he made the phone call, it went way better.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. I think I frustrate a lot of people on our team in many ways, but one of the ways I believe I frustrate them, I don't know if it does or not, is when they want, like, for example, I was doing some calls earlier, uh, and Miss Kim had set the appointment, and I had Miss Kim listen in on the call because I wanted her to get better on these calls and hear what I was saying and why I was saying it, so I could get her to take some of those actions. And she's texting me and just says, she said, read the notes of what she had already taken all the information down on the lead. And the
Mhm.
truth of the matter is that the notes are irrelevant. I really don't care about the notes. And first of all, I need this person to tell me this stuff anyways, to get
Mhm.
their verbal authorization and buy-in and hear themselves saying this stuff to me when I'm going to try and get them to take an action. But also, too, to your point, Robert, is the less I know, the better, because the more intrigued I am. If I go into this phone call and think I know everything, then I don't ask as many questions. I don't, push for things. I don't ask, as much as I should. And so, and same thing with sellers and sales team. Like, you know, someone will come and provide like paragraphs of information, and I don't need all that. It's I need to know what this person's name is, what their property is, and like in one sentence or less what you've got with them so far. That way I can come in here, use that little piece of information to work this, have a conversation, and try and gather as much information as I can. um but it's a very good point, Robert. Like the less information I know prior to going into the call, the better. And all the information is found from, the phone call.
Right.
So if there is an instance where we do that, and you guys bring a deal to me and or Matt, and we get on a call, like we don't really need to know how many bed and baths it is, what the square footage is, the last, year the roof was replaced, all these things, if we don't even know the seller's motivation yet, because the seller's story and motivation is the most important thing. And I've never once bought a property based on how many bed and baths it has, nor the last year the roof was replaced. All these things can be worked out with price and the structure of the deal, and we'll never get to structuring the deal until we know what their motivation and the story is. Because we can just make offers all day long, but it just doesn't work very well. What works the best is being able to collaboratively structure a deal with this person based on their true needs and desires, which a lot of times is not just the price.
So they are late on these, or they owe about 30 grand in taxes on these, Alex, and for the
How much?
like 3 grand, 29.53 on the little lot in Leander.
Yeah. Well, it's good. We just what's it do you want to call her? Let me call her.
Yeah. I mean, we can. She said that she was gonna make some calls tomorrow for some other stuff, but she said we were paying for a while and then we stopped. But yeah, I mean, we could definitely call her. I tried to run some comps on stuff, but I'd like to go and look at the property too, just to see what it kind of looks like. Because I'm seeing ranges from 15K, well, 10K, 15K, and 25K for these little
Does
things.
she own this property?
It's her husband, I believe, but I don't know exactly which one. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's the what's can you put the address in the chat? What's the address?
It is 21407 Wyoming Pass. Oh,
21407. Right?
21407 Wyoming Pass, Leander.
Let's see here, Lago Vista. So it might be in Travis County. Y'all can see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
Yeah, that's the name that I have. Okay.
your girl Lorenza. What phone number do you have for Lorenza?
So the lady I'm talking to is Esmeralda. I need to ask her who Lorenza is. I'm wondering if that's the person that passed away.
Yeah, I'd ask her who Lorenza is. What's the phone number for the person you're talking to?
Her phone number is 830 237 6530.
Esmeralda, that's who you're talking to?
Yep. Yep. Her husband is Jamie. And then Esmeralda De Leon, that's who I've been talking to. Yes.
Okay. So Benito and Lorenza, question is who are they? It's still deeded in their name. Probably same with the other property, and this is probably what they're talking about with brother and sister. Maybe it never fully, transferred. Maybe it's still in the deceased parents' names,
Mhm.
and that is a process that can be worked through. But you just have to. Title can handle all of that.
Okay.
Get all the appropriate people to sign off, affidavit at airship, and you know, it won't be a quick close necessarily, depending upon how long it takes to get all this stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think she sounds real and they want to get this going because she's responding to me pretty immediately with stuff that I'm asking and saying like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this tomorrow.
Good.
So they seem pretty motivated. She just sent me another delinquent tax for about $8,000. So I'm asking her if that's on the Somerville property.
Yeah. You want to see how much they owe?
Oh yeah. How do you do that?
Travis County property taxes. I just had the payers. Where's the address? Twenty 2023.
You're
Previous.
behind.
Yeah. So they owed 2,200 from the previous year.
Yeah, that's what she just sent me, that exact amount with the current and
Yeah.
past.
They owe Oh, wow. They owe all the way back from 2013, it looks like.
Wow. That's crazy. She said that the mom passed at 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So they must have been the ones.
This is the total bill, it looks like.
Yeah. Sheesh.
All right, well, let's just see what they say tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, anything else for today? What y'all think about today? Anybody good job, Christina, Mybrit, Michael, Timberly, Rick already gone for bringing some opportunities. Does everybody feel good about next steps or have any questions with the deals brought today?
Not on any of the ones today, but have you guys progressed anything on either of those Corpus deals?
Corpus eightplex we dropped yesterday.
Okay.
We had it at 515. No one at all was interested in buying it. I personally think it's way overpriced, still even at 515. And then the 36 unit just went under contract with a different buyer. That's what Matt was saying when I was asking about Ben.
That was the one he was talking about earlier.
Yeah, so we're supposedly we're still working that though, but we've been working that one every day with the broker. So there's those two. We do have a that RV park that Rob has been bringing in past few times. I think that might be the best deal I've ever seen.
Really?
For us to buy. So that guy, I don't know exactly the full story on his exact health condition, but I think he's in the hospital. He's about to pass away. I don't know if he's going through treatment right now or exactly what. Rob's been doing a lot of the talks, but we've sent him a contract. Hopefully he signs that contract today, tomorrow, or the next day. But 6 million, sorry, 7 million, 1 million
Hey,
down.
babe.
Hola, senor.
What's going on?
Hola.
On
7 million purchase price, 1 million down, 6 million seller finance, 0% interest. Yeah, that's what makes it sweet. I think it's a good price as is. It might be worth like 9 million as is brand new, built in 2023, 118 RV slots. I mean, it's really nice. It's all concrete. It's got pickleball courts. They got a pool.
Where is that one?
Terrell, Texas.
Can't remember if Bob shared that one with me.
It's about 40 minutes from downtown Dallas, 20 minutes from Dallas.
Okay.
But it's a great deal. I mean, he agreed to $28,000 monthly seller finance payments, 100% going to principal.
Yeah.
So that's about a 33% cash on cash return on the $1 million down, because we'd make about 330,000 or so cash flow. So that's number one, makes it great. Second thing is he wants a 5-year balloon. So over the 5 years of making those payments, we would pay down 1.6 something million in principal.
Nice.
So we're making, 330 grand a year simply on payments. And then, when the market's a little bit better, it's at like a 9 point something cap right now. Probably should be selling it like a 7.5 or lower, even with this market. I mean, it's brand new, good location. And so, probably a few $1 million in equity there as well.
What's the price?
And with that one, you're thinking of just collabing, like doing a collaboration to take it down?
Whatever. We don't have $1 million cash. I mean, if we can raise the capital, I'll buy it here together. Great. I already told Matt if we get this thing under contract, we're listing properties immediately and trying to sell these off and 1031 into it.
Nice.
We'll do whatever is necessary in order to buy it. But this is, and all this could be wrong. I haven't seen the property. I was gonna wait till he signs the contract to go drive out there.
Yeah.
But he could sign it. I drive out there and it's not what we think it is. But if it is what we think it is, it might be the best deal we've ever bought.
Is that Pheasant Valley?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. They've got a nice site. I'm assuming they're booking online and everything.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So I don't know if that one's gonna get signed up or not. We're waiting on the guy right now, but it also has a commission in there too. That he'd
Nice.
be
As Lorenza is the mother-in-law that passed away, and Benito is the father-in-law.
Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna have to work through getting these deeds. They're not gonna be able to sell it as is. Title's gonna make sure, I don't know all the specific forms and everything they're gonna have to get, but title's gonna need them to get everybody to sign off, make sure, go through the whole air process, all that. It's all possible. It's just
Okay.
gonna be an extra layer of things that need to happen in order to get it done.
Okay, and then the 160 acres, she just got back with me, said they turned down 4.2 mil cash. But she said that the seller said that he would take 15K on the flood zone area and 55K an acre on the rest.
Yeah. So thanks.
No deal.
Yeah, probably. All right. Anything else? Any questions, thoughts, anything at all?
No,
That we
keep
can help
me
out
keep
with?
me in the loop on that RV park though. I'm definitely interested.
I will.
Yeah, I just
Call,
you know,
call me about these eightplexes, Alex.
Tell you about them?
No, I said call me about the eightplexes in San Antonio. I want to hear your numbers on these aggressive offers.
Well, let's talk to it right now.
Okay. Because Matt's feedback was let's be aggressive, but you work with him, so I don't know what that means in his language.
All right. Well, what's it at their list
So
price?
there's three properties. The first one is the 8 units on couples,
Yep.
listed 995. I sent y'all a draft contract at 800, but his response was let's be aggressive. So that I'm reading into that as that's still too high. So I wanted to get your thoughts. 100% occupied, average rent is about 1,100 a unit.
Let's offer
Current
675.
675. Okay.
Is that a good price?
If we could get it for 675, yeah, I think that's a great price. I was thinking anything under at or under 800 would be good. But 675 obviously is even better.
Well, let's start at 675. They're probably not going to take it, and then we can work our way up from there.
Yeah, my other question was, since I haven't been able to get this broker on the phone recently,
Still?
I haven't tried to call her this week, but he said y'all talked to her, so I was wanting to see if there's any new info on the quote we have to sell.
I talked to her
Patricia
Friday.
Chavez.
Yeah,
Say it again?
I talked to her Friday when I texted you. I was on the
Yeah.
phone with her. No, I mean, it sounds like they have to sell at their current list price. It sounds like they're going to be losing about $1 million. So if they're going to lose, supposedly, if they're going to
No.
on all the properties, on the whole portfolio of properties,
All three of them they have listed for more than they acquired for, and their loans are I mean, because like they have debt on all three.
there's there's like a single family home, there's like a fourplex, there's like 4 or 5 properties in there.
Yeah, there's 2 single families, which they might have a little bit of a loss on those. I'm not sure. I've kind of ignored those, but on the 2 8plexes, they're both listed at $1 million, and then the third, well, I guess one of them is 2 quads, but they're listed as a package at $1 million, and then they have the 8plex that's all 1 ones listed for 700. Based on what I can see in the records, none of them are listed for below what they acquired them for 2 years ago. Not one of them. They're all listed above acquisition cost, so they're not losing at their current list prices.
Well, they could have, I don't know exactly, but
Okay.
maybe it was a million. I could have sworn I calculated it close to what she was telling me, and it was about a million, but maybe they put a lot of money into these properties. They've been vacant for a long time. In some sort of way, apparent. I mean, she sounds desperate, number one.
Okay.
And if she's desperate, the sellers probably are desperate. But if that's not the case, then offer 500, see what they say.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the 1 1s. I was thinking 400 on a 700 list. On the Brennan, which is the lower valued eightplex with that are 2 2s, I was thinking 750. So I'll probably drop that to 625, and then we'll go 675 on this other one. I'll send all three and see what she says.
Yeah, and my point in saying the loss on the million, whatever it is, I don't know, but if they are losing $1 million, which I haven't seen their closing statements and bank statements to know that, but if they are losing $1 million, then losing 1.2 might not be, or however much it is, it probably wouldn't make that big of a difference.
Yeah,
If they're
that
willing to
makes
lose
sense.
$1 million, then they're going to be willing to lose 1.2.
Got it.
But
All
just
right,
make
that'll work.
she sounds desperate. So
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to chat about, just to make sure I had it right. So I wanted to make sure I followed y'all's aggressive. I don't want to submit something. You're like, why did you pay that much?
well, Matt's here now. I don't think I could be wrong. Maybe Matt saw your offer at 800. I don't know if he did or not, but just be great. I mean, offer 600 if you want to. Let's just offer something really low,
Okay.
and see what they say.
So a follow-up question on that. Do y'all typically do just an LOI, or do y'all do a full-blown contract to submit?
Either's fine.
Full blown. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
when we really want it, right? It's like then they can sign it. We got a deal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I had drafted and sent. I'll just go change the numbers. I also was doing the financing at like a 80% loan, 20% down. Is that what y'all want, or y'all want to do something different
That's
on the
fine.
terms? That's fine. Okay.
Let's just see what they say to the price.
Got it.
What could we sell those for the day after, we get them under contract?
I think couples, you could probably, if you get it 100% occupied, you probably 875 to 900. I think the small one is going to be the hardest one to move. The 1 1s over by St. Mary's, they've got 3 empty units. They've had 3 empty units on there for over 6 months. So that makes me nervous about getting it to 100% occupancy. It was at 100% occupancy. I think you could get 6.25, maybe 650, but you got to get it to 100% rents to get it there.
Yeah.
Brennan, I think, is tapped. I don't think you can get over 800 on the other one that they want $1 million for. Based on where it's at in Highland Park, I don't think you can get over 8.25 for that one, even at 100%.
Yeah. And that's the one we said 675.
That's the one we said 625. Yeah.
Let's just see what they say.
Cool. I got it. I'm on it.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here? All right. Adios, everybody. Timberly, my Brit, Michael, anybody brought deals today, just let us know if you need anything else with them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you Thursday. Oh, hey, by the way, Thursday at 8 a.m. for those who are, or is it 8:30?
Yeah, 8:30.
For those of you who are local here to ATX, if you want to, or if you're not local, you're welcome to come. But at the Round Rock office at 8:30 a.m., Paulie is hosting his Paulie's Power Hour. He
Yeah,
had more P's in there. Paulie's Prospecting Power Hour. He had a bunch of them. But anyways, at 8:30 every Thursday, Paulie's going to be running a class for community, for TRE agents, open to the public. about prospecting and, you know, getting better at skills on negotiating and phone calls and prospecting. So for anybody who can join, it'll be a good one. Every
Cool.
Thursday.
Yay.
All right, everyone. Have a good evening.